Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. Okay, I am here at 2nd and Charles, the Mecca for all things cool. Today we're looking for cool vinyl, cool tech. It's going to be awesome. You're not going to want to miss this. And it was a successful visit because I found something very cool. This is the Crosley Revolution. Now, you may say to yourself, wait a minute, didn't you do the Revolution a couple of weeks ago and wasn't it completely different looking than this? Yes, you're right. I did, and it did look completely different because it was completely different. This is a completely different model. This is the original version, which as you can see is significantly different. Now, obviously, all of these are based off of the original Soundburger design from the 80s, but this one has a couple of major improvements, and ironically, it's improvements that were seen in the former model, not the latter. So this one has the clear center area where you can see the label of the record, and it also has a magnetic cartridge, which, if you remember, the other one we did, I won't keep saying previous, it's previous to us, but in actually sequence of when they were released, it was the latter one, had a ceramic cartridge. So this one does have a magnetic cartridge and some very, very interesting features. So 2-speed, has a USB, although this is older, like I said, so this is like 2012. So some of the terminology in this is kind of odd. So instead of saying USB, connectivity is vinyl digitizer, but that's what that is. Also, it doesn't have Bluetooth, but it does have wireless sound technology. What the heck are they talking about? Well, come to find out, this has an FM radio transmitter built in, so you can stream audio, but not through Bluetooth, through FM radio from this device. Now, let's take a look at the pricing on this. So originally $149, now $129. And if we look on the side here, it was $99.95 at one point, then it was $70, but I only paid $60. So it actually seems kind of like a lot of money compared to the other one, which was like $30 on sale, but these still go for $100 or more, and originally cost quite a bit more than that. So is it worth it? What's the benefit of this style of a turntable? I'm gonna go ahead and start opening. As you can tell, this thing is old. It is, it's used. I'm not sure what kind of condition it's in. Clearly it was a return at some point. But what's the point of this type of a turntable? Somebody said it looked like a damn stapler when I was reviewing the red one, the other one. And yeah, it does. And what's the point? Well, it's super portable compared to a regular turntable. It's cool, I think. And a lot of people like downplay the cool factor. It's gotta be fun, because that's a big part of it. But this also has some cool capabilities. One of the best features of this type of a turntable, there it is the ability to just take this with you. There's a strap, there should be. Yep, strap on the end here. Just take it with you, almost pocket size, into a vinyl shop and use it to audition music. Okay, so here it is. Moment of the big reveal. Yeah, super cool. Manufactured in 2010. Check that out. This thing is 10 years old. There's the transmitter on and off switch. The frequency select, you get 88.1 megahertz or 89.9. Those are probably what they would assume would be not likely to be used frequencies. I think 88.1 actually is our classical station. I'm not sure. But yeah, so you can pick one of those two. Battery compartment. Wow, that takes like 6 AA's. I don't remember if the other Revolution took that many batteries, but yeah. There's some speed adjust. You see this like round area here. This is obviously where the motor is. So you can adjust the speeds there, which is cool. It's got an interesting wall hook there kind of thing. I don't know why they would have that. On the back we have the USB output, line output, headphone output, and then the power connection. I wish this had a line input too, because that would be so sick if you could use this thing for an FM transmitter for a line input signal. Anyway, I think that'd be really cool. Up on top here we have the power switch, the speed switch, and the volume switch. So I guess that controls the volume of the headphone output. I read in the specs about a speaker. Oh yeah, look, it does indeed have a speaker under there, which is super, super awesome. And then there's the switch on the side to open it. So let's go ahead and open it up. It's very similar, basic Soundburger design here. So you lift this off, put it over here, and that's a thick sort of rubber. Functions as a 45 adapter and as a rest. That is cool. That feels higher quality. This, and by the way, you may be saying, that's not a magnetic head, it's got a red tip on it. Well, this actually is a magnetic cartridge. And I've mentioned before that there are exceptions to the rule of red tip equals ceramic. This is one of those. This is the same cartridge that they use on the T200 semi-automatic turntable that we reviewed years ago. This is great. This sounds really, really good. And this is probably a spring-loaded counterbalance. No, it's not going to damage your vinyl. It is just going to do the job, supposedly, hopefully. Here we've got the little rubber platter mat, and the platter itself is plastic, shiny, rounded spindle, and that's about all there is to it. So let me kind of get it plugged in here and clean up my mess, and we'll test it out. In this box now, over 10 years old, you can find the remnants of the CD-ROM that once housed the Audacity software and the little packet for the CD as well. So yeah, I have liberated this from the shelves, and hopefully it will function well. Even when things do have battery as an option, I always prefer AC. This does come with an AC transformer. So, or DC transformer, 9-volt power supply, plugs in right there. There's the latch. Move the tone arm to the external position. There's a nice little snapping thing right here, like a little ball bearing. So it feels like it snaps in really, really well. Here's the underside of the lid. You can see its basic ABS structure there. Clear plastic window there, which again, I think is a really cool thing. Here's a closer look at the back of the tone arm and the controls. I like the metal reinforcement parts on this one. I don't think the other one had that. I don't think the newer one had that. So yeah, looks good. All right, let's give it a test. All right, I'm gonna test out with this Avengers record we looked at yesterday, just because I think it would look cool in this. And we'll go ahead and place there, take off the stylus guard. I'm gonna make sure, just do a quick visual inspection. The stylus does look like it's in good shape. When you buy a used turntable, some people say, just replace the stylus anyway, which is probably good advice because you don't know what happened to it, but it doesn't look like there's any obvious problem. Somebody's gonna say, you can't tell by visually looking at it. Yes, you can tell. If it's real bad, you can tell by looking at it. So if it's just bad, we'll tell by listening to it. Okay, power on, and there we go. Awesome. I like how it has room to cue it with the lid down. That's cool. I wasn't sure if it would do that. Got a little wow and flutter there. Definitely have some wow and flutter, but somewhat to be expected. Sometimes, by the way, wow and flutter is one of those things that will sort of settle itself after a period of time. I've had, and especially with tape players too, like if you have a belt-driven device, this is obviously belt-driven. Well, not obviously, but it is belt-driven. If you have a belt-driven device like a cassette player or a record player, and you're getting a lot of wow and flutter at first, it could be that belt just maybe it has been in one position for say 10 years, and needs to kind of regulate and stretch a little bit. And sometimes those things will even themselves out. So we may have to give it some time to really play through and see if it equalizes. And obviously, too, the little built-in speaker is going to be somewhat limiting. Let's try a 12-inch record on this. Another treasure from today's adventures at Second and Charles is this record I've been looking for a number of years. And for those of you not into Glenn Miller, you're going to say, big whoop, who cares? But for those of you that do care, this is interesting because it was recorded in 1983 with the very first digital studio recording technologies. So they got a lot of the original band members together, and it's really, really cool because, let's see, they tell you exactly how they recorded it. So it was recorded on a 3M 32-track digital audio system, mixed JVC digital audio mastering system. So digital studio recording was pretty new by 1983. I mean, this is pretty much a late 70s, early 80s technology. And it's ironic that they make a big deal about it being digital. And then, of course, it's released on analog. Although I do have the CD of this, and I do have the cassette tape, and now I have it on vinyl. So I was excited for that. Wow, look at that. That looks a lot bigger, doesn't it? Let's go ahead and close the lid. Change the speed to, oh, it's still 33. And we can go ahead and play it. Okay, that's the right speed. Now, there's something about mass inertia on a 12-inch vinyl disc compared to the 7-inch that the wow and flutter is not going to be as prevalent on a 12-inch disc. Again, that's the mass inertia that would impact that. This is static. It's kind of weird. Not sure where that's coming from. This may be just statically charged, this record. You know, it sounds good. It sounds really, really good. Now, I'm curious about this FM transmitting feature. So let me go ahead and get that squared away. We'll test that out. Okay, I'm really excited about this feature. I think this is really, really cool. I am going, and by the way, I think the wow and flutter's cleared up already because I'm really not hearing it at all. I'm going to use my old 1974 to 1976 Kresge, aka Kmart Company, transistor radio. So we're going to flip it to FM and see if we can pick it up. It should be 88.1 FM, so it should be back here on the dial. If this works, this will be really cool. There it is. See if I can hone in on it a little better. I wonder if the volume over here impacts that. Probably not. That is so cool. That is awesome. Listen to that. FM broadcasting in the house from a vinyl record. That is awesome. Let's try that little transistor radio, the little pocket one we just got the other day. So a platter of that size is just begging for a 3-inch record. But as you can tell, the distortions are more pronounced at the smaller size. And this part of it is this cutout is not, my little adapter I made for the 3-inch records is not 100% accurate. And that's an interesting point too, by the way. A little side note here, completely unrelated. 3-inch records take a lot of engineering to get them to not have any wow and flutter because they're very prone to that the smaller you get. Anyway, if we were to get the perfectly sized adapter, I think that'd be really cool because it just is begging for a 3-inch record on there, I think. Okay, back to testing the transmitter. Okay, let's try 45. So I'm going to put this big, thick rubber multi-purpose spacer up here, put a 45 on. I just think this looks cooler with the 45. I think it looks awesome. So we're going to flip this guy on. Got to change speeds up here. Ooh, listen to that wow and flutter. It's interesting, but the LP really didn't have that problem. Okay, so now I'm going to take the FM radio, the little pocket one here, and we'll see if we can get this transmission. I think this concept is so cool. Okay. Come on. There we go. FM. And a shortwave. There it is. A little bit of interference there. Now, I want to see how far away I can get from this and still pick up the signal. But I want to put on a 12-inch record again because it sounds like, or it literally does sound like the best to me is the 12-inch record. So, and again, we're going to keep this unit. So if it improves in terms of the wow and flutter over time, we'll know on the 7-inch records, 3-inch records compared to the 12-inch. But I didn't notice much wow and flutter on the 12-inch. So let me put a 12-inch record in here, and then I'm going to do a distance test on the FM transmitter and let you know how far away I can get. Okay, so here's what I can tell you. It is pretty clear up to about 30 feet. And then once you pass 30 feet, you start picking up intermittent static and stuff. This is a frequency that this unit is stomping on. So if we turned on the transmitter, in fact, we can do a test. Let's do a test. We're going to flip off the transmitter midway, and then you're going to hear it revert to the regular station that's normally on this frequency. So let me, oh wait, can I do that? It's on the bottom. Well, yeah, I'll turn it off. I'll power off the unit and you'll hear what's normally on this. So here we go. Okay, here I go, turning it off. It's our classical station. So if this was on the other frequency, as you remember, there was 2 frequencies that you could set it to. I may not have that issue whatsoever, but this brings up a whole host of cool possibilities, fun things that we could do, considering this does transmit audio. I think that is so flipping cool. Anyway, guys, I hope you thought that was an interesting show. That's going to do it for today. If you want one of these, I don't know what to tell you because they aren't sold anymore new, but you can find them used. And I got it as new old stock. Second & Charles sometimes has stuff that's been discontinued or it's older, and it's just sitting on the shelf for extended periods of time. So that may be the case in your neighborhood as well. Again, Books A Million is the parent company. They may be other brands, but out here in Colorado, it's Second & Charles. Maybe Craigslist, more likely on eBay. But it is cool. I recommend it. I mean, I think it's a really awesome unit. I love the fact that it has a magnetic cartridge. I love the fact that it transmits FM audio. That is just so cool. And you know, this was from an era right before Bluetooth sort of took over. And boy, is it cool. I love the form factor. I love everything about it. It is cool. I love this, you guys. It's unique. It's something different. It's very portable. You can take it anywhere you want. But anyway, there you go. And I know this is going to come up, so I did bring out the Ortofon scale, and it tracks just a hair over 4 grams. So definitely not going to damage your vinyl at all. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up, and we will see you tomorrow.